Welcome back to Poorly Educated Today in the News, the only show where we read every headline, connect every dot, and proudly do it with the intellectual horsepower of a lawnmower that's missing two spark plugs. Today's episode covers January 27th, 2026, also known as the day America tried to overachieve at melting down. So pour yourself some instant coffee, pull up a chair, and let's try to understand how this country manages to juggle chaos with the grace of a raccoon on roller skates. Segment 1. Minneapolis, federal agents, and the great "that was a phone" mistake. All right, y'all, first up, Minneapolis, a beautiful city now famous for hockey, lakes, and federal agents who need glasses from the dollar store. Because Operation Take Back America, which already sounds like a marketing stunt for a monster truck rally, rolled into town and ended with federal officers shooting Alex Pretty, a nurse, a citizen, and someone whose biggest crime was holding up a cell phone like every other millennial in existence. The feds swore he had a gun. The video says he had a Samsung. Now look, I know phones are getting big, but not fire 10 rounds at it big. The last time I saw someone misidentify a phone like that, it was my Uncle Randy who thought his iPhone flashlight was police backup and started yelling freeze. The craziest part? The White House tried to say that even if he had a gun, it was kinda his fault for legally carrying it. And let me tell you, that message went over with Second Amendment folks about as well as a tofu potluck at a Texas gun show. Suddenly, the law and order crowd is yelling about federal overreach. Libertarians are talking revolution, but only on Reddit. And Republicans are looking at Trump like, hey buddy, we said we liked cops, not that we liked getting shot for having pockets. And meanwhile, Washington State is over there building emergency plans in case ICE decides to cosplay as G.I. Joe in Seattle. The Attorney General basically said federal agents have authoritarian vibes, which is government language for, y'all better calm down before this becomes a national Thanksgiving argument. Segment 2. Iran, the Armada, and Trump's Greenland shopping spree. Now we head to foreign policy, or as scholars call it, America's favorite hobby when we run out of things to break at home. President Trump has deployed what he calls a big armada to the Persian Gulf, and I gotta say, anytime a president says big armada like a kid showing off his Hot Wheels, I get nervous. Iran's regime is wobbling harder than my cousin Earl on a bar stool. Protests are everywhere, and Trump figures this is the best time to roll up with a carrier strike group and say, hey fellas, want a deal or want to crumble? It's diplomacy, but louder. Iran, naturally, has threatened a regret-inducing response, which is the Middle East version of come at me, bro. Meanwhile, their proxies across the region are all flexin', and the Shia coordination framework in Iraq is trying to bring back Nouri al-Maliki like folks rebooting an old TV show nobody actually missed. But wait, we ain't done. Trump also decided, for reasons known only to the creator above, that this is the perfect time to buy Greenland again. Europe said no the first time, and this time they said no so hard the EU is literally talking about selling off U.S. Treasury holdings. That's what economists call the financial nuclear option, and what poor people like me call, you sure about that? Of course, Europe knows selling all that debt would hurt them like sitting in a cactus. But the fact they're even discussing it means transatlantic relations have gone from rocky to sleeping on the couch. Segment 3. The economy looks great, except for the part that looks terrible. Next up, America's economy, where the stock market is flying like a bald eagle and consumer confidence is falling like a Walmart shelf during Black Friday. The S&P 500 hit a record high, mostly because AI companies are making Wall Street act like teenagers at a boy band concert. But while the tech bros are bathing in gold coins, the healthcare sector got drop-kicked by Medicare Advantage rate news. United Health and Humana lost billions in a single afternoon, which is the financial equivalent of your truck backfiring so loud it scares the deer 3 counties over. Meanwhile, consumer confidence fell to the lowest level in 12 years. People are worried about inflation, tariffs, war, and whether AI is going to take their job or just quietly judge their grocery purchases. Congress passed a budget with $1 trillion for defense, which means we now spend more on our military than I spend on Mountain Dew, which is saying something. And 22% cuts to federal agencies means the EPA is about to be run by 2 interns and a printout of a sunset. Michigan Avenue is feeling rough. The household economy is depressed, and yet AI stocks are laughing like villains in a sci-fi movie. It's the kind of confusing economy where experts say everything is fine, but regular people say, "Funny, my wallet didn't get the memo." Segment 4. Science, Quantum Sorcery, and AI Book Cannibalism. Now on to science, the part of the show where America briefly pretends to understand physics. Researchers at the University of Chicago say quantum computing has reached its transistor moment, which means we're about to enter a world where computers can think so fast that ChatGPT becomes the dumb cousin at the family reunion. They boosted qubit coherence from 0.1 milliseconds to over 10 milliseconds using erbium atoms, which sounds like wizardry, but apparently means soon we'll have an unhackable quantum internet. Great. Now my ex won't even be able to hack my Netflix, but the big scandal is Project Panama, where an AI company secretly sliced the spines off millions of books to scan them for training data. That's right. They turned libraries into all-you-can-eat buffets for robots. Somewhere a librarian just passed out. The documents inside the company literally say, "We don't want it to be known," which ranks real high on the list of phrases you don't want to see in internal emails, right between "ignore the smoke" and "do we have an attorney?" Add in Alzheimer's breakthroughs, new heart-brain discoveries, and ancient tools in China rewriting human timelines, and science is basically speedrunning the future while society is still struggling to plug in the HDMI cable correctly. Segment 5. Culture, Celebrities, Tennis, and America's Mood Ring. Finally, let's take a breath and look at culture, because even in national chaos, celebrities find time to apologize for weird things. Kanye West bought a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal to apologize for past anti-Semitic remarks, blaming a 2002 brain injury. Folks aren't sure whether to believe him, but it's the first time in history someone tried to re-enter society using the classified ads section. Charlie XCX set new sales records. Tyra Banks admitted she went too far on reality TV back in the day, which is like saying the sun went too far on being bright. And Texas Tech is getting gold stars for their online programs. So at least education ain't completely on fire. Yet. Meanwhile, in Australia, Carlos Alcaraz vaporized Alex de Minaur in tennis so fast, I thought my TV froze. And Elina Svitolina destroyed Coco Gauff, which gave Ukraine something to cheer about that doesn't involve dodging missiles. And in D.C., longtime delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton is retiring, while Jack Evans, who got booted for ethics scandals, is coming back like a recurring rash. Politics in the Capitol is just musical chairs, but the music is played on a busted kazoo. And as all this unfolds, America officially withdrew from the Paris Climate Accord, because apparently we needed to do that twice. California responded by saying they'll handle climate change themselves. Because when in doubt, California becomes its own country. In conclusion, January 27, 2026, shows us that the United States is still the world's strongest nation, loudest nation, weirdest nation, and the only nation that can simultaneously start a trade war, almost start a real war, accidentally start a constitutional crisis, and still have time to argue about tennis, tariffs, TikTok, and quantum physics. We're holding together, barely, but holding together just the same. And if you ever worry the country's fallen apart, just remember, somehow, against all odds, this madness still counts as functioning. Stay poorly educated, stay curious, and I'll see y'all next time.